People. So today we are going to do one of the first interviews that about investments. Welcome to Investment Tuesday. I'm going to do a series for the next month or so, but I think it's likely going to be more than a month because I already have about 8 people lined up to talk to us, and that is already quite long. So today we are going. One thing that really troubled me when I moved to diaspora was where to how to save money. So what I wanted to invest back home, but I didn't. When I left Kenya, I didn't have a bank account, and I didn't know much about banking. And well, that was 2003. So things have changed a bit now. And so there's a bit more information out there. But I was surprised that there are quite a number of people who still think that they need somebody as a go between them and the bank, somebody who is in their home country. So I today we are going to talk about how you can open a bank account, how you can manage it, and what are there specifically for you as a diasporian. So this bank, this is going to be a story with. We are going to talk with somebody from one of the oldest banks in Kenya, Kenya Commercial Bank, and we will hear what he has to say about what they offer our clients. Now, remember, this does not mean you have to open a bank account with Kenya Commercial Bank. This just means that now you know what they offer. So when you go to another bank, you ask that other bank, what do they offer? And you need to get a baseline of what other banks offer before you choose which bank to bank with. We will also be interviewing a few other banks, but this time it's only about Kenya Commercial Bank. So stay tuned as we get ready for our interview with Winston. You work hard for your money. You work very hard for your money. Now, did you know that the earlier you start investing, the better it is for you? Okay, let's talk about where to put your money, how to make the money, and what to do to make sure that you have a great future. Let's not wait till it's too late. There. Hello, people. I hope you're fine. So I had promised that as part of our Investment Tuesdays, I was going to find the answers to your questions about opening an account when you're in the diaspora and basically finding out what is the right way to do it. And so many of us have had the experience of having to reach out to a relative to help you with opening a bank account. Or some people have actually been told by their relatives that you can only have a joint account because otherwise you cannot, we are told a lot of stories. And then when you finally one day get back home, especially people who are not in a position to travel, when you finally get your papers and you're able to get back home, you discover that the relative has been progressing with your money. So this is something that has happened to a lot of people. And I just wanted us to discuss with somebody who deals with diasporians, who works with helping diaspora people to maintain their bank accounts. He is part of one of the oldest banks in Kenya. So you know that it's a bank that has been there for a while. And so it's Kenya Commercial Bank. And so let us welcome Winston. So hi, Winston.
Hello to you, and I'm happy you guys are having me. My name is Winston Mushira. From KCB, Diaspora Banking Unit. I'm a relationship manager, and basically our work is to support Kenyans living and working abroad, have accounts with KCB, and invest back home safely. Thanks, Mercy.
Yeah, so the first question that I want to clarify is it possible? I have moved from Kenya. I am living in the United States. I do not have legal residence in the United States. You know, not everybody goes legally. Is it possible for me to open a bank account with KCB?
Okay, yes, it's possible. Basically, in KCB, we do recognize Kenyans living and working abroad. And actually, it's not a must to be a resident. You have a resident permit, or even you have the citizenship of that other country. But so long as you have a Kenyan national ID or a Kenyan passport, and you also have what we refer to as the KRA PIN, basically, definitely will open an account for you. So we do not actually look into your citizenship status in that other country. But at least you've got to have the Kenyan national ID, and you've got to have the citizen Kenyan or the Kenyan passport. Those are the two main items, plus now the KRA PIN. So actually you get an account because you are a Kenyan, not that maybe you are part of the other country. Yes.
So the other question that many people are scared of is the fact that you have mentioned the KRA PIN. Does that mean that the money that I make is always going to be declared to KRA? Do I have to pay taxes on the money that I make?
No,
that I deposit into this account?
No, you see, what you deposit are savings. When you work where you work and you deposit money to your account, those are savings. You're only liable for tax if you work locally or if you have a business locally. That's the only time now you have to declare taxes. If you earn locally, you have to declare taxes. But as per the law, whatever you save out there, even if it's 1 billion or 10 billion shillings, it's not taxable. Yeah, because we believe also that you've also paid taxes where you are. Yeah,
exactly.
So what you bring in as incoming funds, that's not taxable. It's not taxable. Yes, but if you run a business locally, you have to pay taxes locally because that business is running in the country. Because you also have diaspora customers who have local businesses. Maybe you operate taxis here. Maybe you have a shop, something of the sort, or you sell goods locally. You see, now you are trading locally. So it's always good to get the services of a tax consultant so that he or she can tell you this is how much you pay. And at times you find that if you're importing goods, at the point of entry, you pay your taxes there. Yeah. So basically, it's always good to know that whatever you bring in, whatever your savings are from that country, they are never taxed. But for purposes of opening an account, you just need to have a KRA PIN. Yes.
Yeah, because I know many people who that's one of their issues, the very fact that they feel, okay, and we will have somebody from KRA explaining how this works. But so many people, the minute they hear KRA certificate, they're like, so now I will be paying taxes here, and then I send my savings there, and then I pay taxes again. So people get scared because of that. So then they ask their relatives who are on the ground, and those relatives take advantage of the fact that this person doesn't have papers, this person is not going to travel in the next few years. So yeah, it's a bit scary. We're just going to take a short pause so that we can try and see if we can upload your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So Winston had a short presentation about KCB, but well, we're having technical challenges. So, but I will add it to this presentation at the end, and you will have access to it. It will also have all the information, I think. Will it have information about how they can contact you, how they can open the account, where they can get the documents required?
Yes, it will have information on KCB products that we offer you guys. It will have information on investment, the kind of investments that you can do locally. It will also have information on loans, yeah, and how to send money when you're over there. Again, my contacts are there, so you can always call me via mobile. You can always call me via the office line, yeah, and also my email will be there. But in a nutshell, I want to take you through the PowerPoint presentation, because I'll share it and be able to have it. So that once you get it, you can be in a position actually to get to know what we do and how we can maybe work together and support each other. And Mercy, you had mentioned that you are a group. You have a chama.
Yes, we do have a chama. And that was going to be one of my other questions. I was waiting for you to do your presentation and then we talk about that. So the issue is sometimes people have, I mean, I'm in a few chamas in this diaspora of ours, but our main problem has always been, okay, we open the chama and then, sometimes we keep the money together in one place, and then once it's enough, we open a bank account. And the problem is we would like, because we are registered in Kenya, actually, all our chamas are registered in Kenya. So we would like to be able to open the bank accounts. And the problem is usually getting a reliable relationship manager, because sometimes we send an inquiry email, and then it's responded to by different people. So, you send, and then when you send a follow-up, it's a different person responding, and then you send another follow-up, it's a different person responding. And so that kind of creates this, we would like to have somebody reliable. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, we never get information about the products, because then we are like, okay, why don't we just stay with the money, and when we have enough, we want land, so when you have enough for land, we buy the land, or when we have enough for a house, we buy a house. So most of the time, that's what we've ended up doing. We've ended up just keeping the money in PayPal or somewhere, and then when we have enough of it, we use it for something else, because it's just always been such a hassle to know what the products are. So I'm hoping that from this presentation, we can get that information.
Okay, that is good. Now, what I'll do, in fact, because the diaspora banking is broad, I'll actually talk first about personal accounts, and then I talk about chama accounts.
Okay.
So that at least we can have that. So we have personal accounts, and these are savings account and transactional accounts. And depending on the country where you are in, we give you two kinds of accounts. We give you a Kenya shillings account, and we'll also give you a foreign currency account. For example, if you're in UK, we'll give you a pound account and a Kenya shillings account. If you're in US, we'll give you a USD account and a Kenya shillings account. If you are maybe in South Africa, we'll give you a Rand account and a Kenya shillings account. Reason being, you see, you live in an environment where you earn in foreign currency. When you remit your funds to Kenya, wire that money in foreign currency too, so that you do not do what we refer to as there's something we refer to as an exchange loss, whereby when you move currency from one form to another, there's some effects that you kind of tend to lose. When that money is in KCB as in its foreign state, we're able to give you a special rate that will convert to Kenya shillings. That is the first thing. Secondly, we give you online banking access, so that at least you can be in a position to interact with your account anytime. Anytime maybe you deposit money, you can log in and see the money has come in. Anytime someone deposits money, you can see the money has gone in. And with the online banking, there's the M-Pesa platform there. So you can actually move money directly to someone over the phone. You can do a SWIFT back to your country. You can send money to Equity, Cooperative, or Barclays. You can always do whatever you want. So long as you have money in KCB, wewe na mtu ambaye yuko Kenya, you're one and the same thing. And people talk of charges and what have you. But the advantage of online banking, it doesn't take the location where you are in. So no one will tell you when you move money from maybe KCB to Equity that you're moving it from America. The same way money is moving from someone who is in Meru to Embu, or from Embu to Mombasa, is the same way you are doing it from there. That's the beauty part of the online platform. So you'll be in a position to interact with your account. Again, we give you an ATM card. This is a card you can use where you are. Are you getting the point? If you have some money, you wish to do some shopping, you want to book maybe a hotel or air ticket purchase, you can go ahead and do it. Yeah. So those are some of the things that we support you with, so that you can be in a position to do what? To to bank without any challenges. Again, this is what we refer to as a dedicated relationship manager. Anytime you have something, just give me a call or do a WhatsApp or write an email to me so that we can get to know exactly what you want. Maybe you want some information about land. You want some information about loans. You want information about maybe fixed deposits, treasury bills, treasury bonds. You want to invest in unit trusts or shares. Those are things now that we can support you as a bank. And when you call, I'll be in a position to give you the current information as pertains to what exactly you want. We actually give you a tailored solution on what we refer to as mortgage. So that at least if you are buying a house, up to 80% we finance, so that you can raise 20% and we'll take care of the 80%, which you can pay actually in 10 years. So that's basically how it's done. Yeah. So again, I'll talk also about the kind of investments that we are able to support you with. If you have an account with KCB, we can support you with maybe mortgages. That is, if you have land, we can give you money to build. If you don't have land, we can actually give you money to buy that piece of land and also build. If you want to buy a house, maybe you've identified an apartment, a bungalow or a mansionette, we can actually finance up to 80% and give you the funds to do what? To buy that. We have diaspora customers who would wish to invest in agribusiness. Someone has identified like maybe 30 acres in a rural place and he wants or she wants to do coffee, tea, flowers. Wengine wameingia horticulture kabisa, wengine wameingia biashara ya avocados, nini. We have some actually who are doing even dairy farming, depending on where you come from and the opportunities that are available from where you come from or what you've identified. As a bank, we are able actually to support you to do what? To achieve that. So basically, we when it comes to investment, we don't limit you. We don't limit you. We've had desperate customers who've approached us because by virtue of where they are able even to import products and sell locally. We've actually financed, we've given capital loans, yeah, to nawapatia pesa so that they can have capital and invest locally. And these people will always be in a position to be ahead of the rest because by virtue of whatever they are importing and from where they're importing, they're able actually to put up their products on the shelf and locally and sell. And we support that and we finance that. We have some customers also in the transport business. We support that too. So if you have an account with KCB, we just need to engage and get to know exactly what is it that you'd like to do. What kind of financing would you like? So that we can do what? We can now go that route with you. Again, we have customers who would wish to have good deposits locally. And when you look at the kind of rates which are paid, like now in most countries abroad, you'll find that in your countries at times you are paid an interest rate of 1%, 2%, maybe for deposits, and it's true. Now, when you're earning 1%, 2% locally, you're actually capable of earning above 5%, 6%, 7%, 8% going upward.
That's the one thing that I can say I found interesting because I mean, I live in Switzerland and I know on our deposits that even 1%, I mean, that's a very good bank. Most banks, it's like 0.7, 0.8%.
I've been to US. I've been to US severally. I've done a lot of business with Australia. I used to do Australia about 3 times every year. But the rates were even below 1%. But
yeah, exactly.
What am I saying? If you have good savings, like now maybe you have even $1,000, that's 100,000. You'd rather even deposit that money with KCB for a 6% annual return, as opposed to putting the same $1,000 in Bank of America for less than 1%. It doesn't make sense. It's your money. It's your money. Come together. So basically, what am I saying? I'm saying this. If you have some deposits, or if you want to save, or maybe if you are having some money that you'd like to put together, maybe for some time so that you can do a certain project, think of having a savings account locally. Yeah, we have very good vehicles that can give you a better interest rate. You see, even if it is per month, you are depositing 100 euros or 200 euros. Along the way, you'll make it to 1,000 before the year comes to an end. Yeah. So when we are talking of even taking a mortgage loan, raising the 20%, you will be at least somewhere. Out of 1 million on the spot, maybe huna. So basically, that's how things are. So we also support you with that line. We also support you with purchase of shares listed at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. We support you when it comes to investing in treasury bills or bonds. Yeah, I know right now we have the EABL bond that is currently ongoing, starting Thursday last week. We had the infrastructure bond that was sold about 4 weeks ago, but it's currently we have secondary trading of the same infrastructure bond. So there's so much that is happening locally, and you get good returns. So let's think about that as members of this group. So that one we can support you on that. So that's on personal accounts. I would like to talk about chamas.
Yes.
Now that you people have a chama. Chamas are not so different from personal accounts, but this is basically what happens in a chama. A chama has an advantage in that one, you are not alone, you are many. Secondly, the monthly contribution is what we take in as the amount that you guys are able to do what? To raise. So when it comes to loan repayment, we usually do factor that amount as the amount that can be used in loan repayment. Thirdly, with chamas, you actually at times even get a higher amount of money as opposed to an individual. At times you go up to 90% when it comes to financing for most of your assets. So we've got chamas, and there are many from around the world. African countries, European, America, Australasia, we have so many. And people have done so much. I've seen most chamas actually go for properties. A chama will go for even 50 acres of land in a prime place. Talk of Ngong, talk of Kiserian, talk of Thika Road, and so many other places. Yeah, you'll find a chama of maybe even 50 or 100 people going for apartments. We have a chama that we financed. They've put up apartments in Juja. You see, and there's apartments actually. That chama, they were putting up 36 apartments. The membership was around 20, actually 22. And the aim was we put up these apartments, we sell the rest. Each and every member retains one. The difference they put, and they were paying less than actually 30% of what they were supposed to pay by virtue of having that agreement that will sell the rest. So chamas have come up with the different ways of doing things, and it's profitable. When you are together, you actually take advantage of many brains thinking of one thing. You also take advantage in that on the ground also. I know you have friends, you have relatives. There is so much information, so much ground intelligence you guys get, and as opposed to when you are alone. So working as a chama is good. Again, chamas, you just need to open an account with KCB. We'll give you actually a savings account where each and every month when you deposit money, you'll be getting a very high return for your deposits. And if you make a decision, maybe we raise funds for maybe a year or 2 years, the interest that actually will have accrued will actually be enough to take care of the conveyancing costs. So we've had chamas that have gone that have done so much of properties. We have chamas that have done business. We have actually a chama that has about 6 buses with the city hopper. Yeah. We have chamas that have come up with the taxis. Yeah. They buy several vehicles and give to Kenatco and other organized taxi institutions. We have chamas that have done agribusiness, that is farming. Yeah, we have some in Eldoret, we have some in Lamu. Yeah, we have chamas that have actually done what we call okay.
So you're talking about chamas, yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about chamas. So basically what I'm saying is that we have chamas that have actually now made a decision to invest in the money markets. Each and every month they are buying shares. When a bond comes up, they buy, they take it up. At times they take up treasury bills. Along the way, they also take interest. They take advantage of some of these financial instruments like fixed deposits. So at the end of the year, they do their calculations and see the interest they've earned, and then they share with the members. So basically, you find that each and every group has its own way of doing things. The reason as to why people come together is to have a common goal and make a decision. This is what we want to do. So depending on what you guys want to do, we can actually support you guys. So I don't know what you guys want to do, the mercy or the...
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So the thing is, well, as I told you, I'm in many different chamas. I'm one of those chama addicts.
Yes.
So I have chamas for people from the same who I work with. I have chamas for people who we go to the same church. I have chamas for different ones. So different ones have different objectives. But it's interesting what you have said about the money market, because that's our go-to for everything. Most of us, well, because we kind of thought about treasury bonds, but I don't know if it's just me who's ignorant, but many of us had the impression that you have to go through CBK. So the process just was too complicated. So we didn't know that we can actually do that through the bank. So that's interesting. So I'm hoping that I'm not the only one who has learned something interesting. The other thing is, so we do go to the money market through the many different insurance companies, because that's another thing I didn't know you can do through the banks. For me, banks have always been savings, fixed deposit, and current account. That's it. I've never thought of them as my finance manager, where I put money and then I tell them this is what I need for this. This is what I've always assumed, that the money is there to just sit there and be spent. So so that's one of the things that is interesting. And of course, I knew about the loans. I just didn't know how accessible these loans are to people in the diaspora, because, for example, of course, you would need security. Most of the time, the security would be what? The properties I have back home, my pay slip, things like that. So these are the things that you would need for to get a loan, right?
Yeah, basically what you do
plus checking how the account flow has been, what has been being deposited in that account. I'm talking now about a personal account, not necessarily a chama account. So if somebody has a personal account and they want a mortgage, what do they use as security? Because you don't need security, right?
Yeah, basically what we usually advise our customers is whatever you are buying can actually be the security. If you're buying an apartment, that apartment should be a security. If you're buying a piece of land, that piece of land should be the security. If you're buying a mansion, it's the same way. That mansion should be the security. You see, and we also advise that you buy land or properties with legal documents. At times in this country, we have what we refer to as properties that do not have proper paperwork. And unfortunately, they may not be in a position to touch first. Yeah? And if you insist, then you may be required to provide additional security, which is not necessary. So always try and buy land or properties with legal papers, with a title deed, not these other certificates which are not clear. So that's basically how things are. As for pay slips and bank statements, I want to believe you are in gainful employment or you are doing a good business, and you can actually qualify for a loan, because at the appraisal process, you have to state that you've been in a position to pay for a property for maybe a period of 10 years. Yes, that's how things are. But something else I also advise is, if you are going for an apartment, also always ask yourself, I'm buying this apartment maybe for 10 million. The rental income is maybe 100,000. Are we together?
Yeah.
What is it that the bank wants from me? Maybe the bank wants maybe 150,000 for you, for example. So you can calculate and say, I'll be whatever I get from this apartment, I'll be depositing to my savings account, and I'll be making an additional 50,000, so that at the end of the month, the bank can recover its what? 150,000. So we usually insist, try your level best and get a good investment. I've seen people get investments, and at the end of the day, they end up paying nothing to the bank. Those investments 100% take care of the what? The loan plus the interest and the what we refer to as the principal and the interest. And at times you may find that the tenant we may take care of the principal, while you take care of a small percentage of the interest. So it depends. It depends. But all in all, security should be whatever you are buying. Secondly, your statements should be good. And this is a long-term facility. So you've got to have at least what we refer to as statements for 6 months and stuff like stuff. So long as you are good in terms of security and in terms of finance, I don't see the reason as to why you should struggle.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because I totally agree. I have a few friends who did buy property, and they were badly advised, so they bought property, and they're still paying so much. So there's the rent. It's a rental property, but they still have to go out of pocket about 100,000 every month for. So whatever the rental income is, they still have to top it up 100,000 every month, and that's really stressful, because it's supposed to be a rental property. You're supposed to be making money, not spending money. But they were told, well, it's a long-term investment, so once you finish paying, then you start making the money. But I've always found it a bit ridiculous, but well, that's their choice. Okay. So back to the chamas. So the chamas have to be legally registered as chamas, right?
Yeah, there are two ways you can go about it. One, you can register as a chama or as a limited liability company.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have an account with KCB, that's okay. And you invest locally without any challenge, now that at least you have the legal papers, that is the certificate of registration. Or you can actually, as a group, make a decision and say, as we register this group, let us maybe have a joint account for 3, 4, 5 signatories who are going to be in charge of this group as we perfect the registration process. So you can start immediately by having the joint registration and the accounts being run by signatories. That is the officials. We are talking about the chair lady or the chairman, the treasury, the secretary, and maybe 1 or 2 members. Because at the end of the day, even once you register the group, you will still need to have signatories.
Exactly.
So it's one of the things. You can do a joint account, yes. You can also do registered organization, which is okay. So any outfit is okay.
Okay. All right. I don't even think I have any more questions about chamas. I think you have covered even more than what I had imagined. So do you have anything extra you want to add? So unfortunately, the recording, something happened to the last bits of the recording, and yeah, so I'm not able to upload it, but you can find the presentation in the description box, and reach out to me if you have any questions, or reach out directly to Winston if you have other questions that what you would be interested in finding out. And this would be amazing for us to be able to learn a bit more about the options for savings and what else these banks can offer you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for staying in touch. And I'm really hoping that you learned something out of this. And I'm going to keep you posted on the other banks and the other options. So next week, we will be talking to about a different kind of option, what you can do when it comes to investment in property. And that's all I'm going to say. See you soon.